Hi, this is Jan with IQRF. In this video we will focus on the CAT service tools. If you have your network up and running, you may need to manage directly each device wirelessly, such as reconfiguring, unbonding or bonding, uploading a new hex file, identifying the device, and so on. In the previous video tutorial we showed how to work in a network with over-the-air function. In this part we will show you how to use CAT service tools which allow a slightly different approach to device management. For example, you can wirelessly unbond a device which has no coordinator available and it is not equipped with any button used for unbonding. Or you can localize the nearest devices in a hall. CAT service tools offer several useful features and tools for working with IQRF devices. You can create a CAT service tool from the selected IQRF transceiver. You can also remove it at the end of work and return to the original IQRF transceiver function. Let's take a look at the DPA service mode tool, which is intended for communication with DPA devices in DSM. Next, we will show DPA peer-to-peer tool, which is intended for communication with one or more bonded nodes in direct range. We will also show the RF scanner, which is a tool for RF signal testing. First, let's show how to create and remove CATs. On the Control tab of the CAT service tools, click the Create CATs button and the appropriate software will be loaded into the IQRF transceiver. When you see the indicator in the lower left corner of the IQRF IDE as a purple circle, it means you have CATs loaded in the IQRF transceiver. After uploading the software, you can set the parameters for the RF programmer, like working channel, TX power, and so on. RF programmer parameters are important when using CATs for wireless uploading of files using RFPGM to a connected device. If you want to remove the CAT service tools from the IQRF transceiver, simply click Remove CATs. Now, let's show DSM tool. On the DPA service mode tab in CAT service tools, you can connect wirelessly to a device to which you know the access password and it is in a direct RF range of your service tool. DSM is a special service connection which can be established with a DPA device, coordinator or node after reset. In our demo, we pressed the reset button on the node and because we filled in the correct access password beforehand, we did not set any MID as a filter and were in direct RF range, the device got connected. If you are using an operating system older than 4.00, learn more about DSM in Help. In the device info section, you will find more detailed information about the connected device. In the DSM section, we have several options on what to do with the device. If we click on RFPGM button, we can update the software of the device. We can accomplish the standard upload of the file selected in the project window as if the device was directly connected in CK-USB. Let's show bonding and unbonding using CAT. In our example, we have two instances of the IQRF IDE opened. In the first, in the CK-USB, there is connected CAT service tool, and in the second, there is the coordinator. CATs can be used for bonding even if there is no bonding button on the device. To connect to the network, we use the bond button in CAT. Bonding is accomplished if the device is in a range of the coordinator. The test retrieve parameter in the IQRF IDE connected to the coordinator must be set to value 0. You can remove node from a network by clicking on the unbond button. Then we disconnect the node from the DSM. Since unbonding is done only on the node side, the coordinator knows nothing about it, and that's why we have to do unbonding also on the coordinator side. Let's show other possibilities in DSM. You can recover factory settings of the connected node with a version of DPA 4.10 or higher. This feature closes the DSM connection. New DSM connections can be established with the default access password, which is zeroed. If you want to change the configuration of the device, click on the Configure TIA button. It opens the TIA configuration window with the current configuration of the DPA device. If you want to upload a configuration from a file in the project window, double-click on a configuration file. The TIA configuration window with a saved configuration is opened, and then you upload it into the connected device by the Upload button. By clicking on the Backup button, you will backup network data from the connected DPA device into a file for later restoring. If you need to restore network data of the connected DPA device from the file previously created by the backup function, just click on the Restore button and locate the backup file. A new function is Indicate Device. Click this button to induce optical indication of the connected device. By default, this command lights on both red and green LEDs at the connected node. If the DPA version of the connected device is lower than 4.13, the button is enabled only if the LED or I/O DPA peripheral is enabled on this device. Now, let's show DPA peer-to-peer function. DPA peer-to-peer, or DP2P for short, allows communicating with bonded nodes at the existing network in non-network mode. Unlike DSM, no reset or restart of the node is needed. DP2P is useful for inventorying the network, for example localization of nodes after auto network, device maintenance, remote control, and so on. Communication runs on the network A channel, and the data is encrypted by an AES 128 algorithm using an access password as a key. DP2P must be enabled in the node's configuration to work. If you are not sure that you have DP2P enabled on your network, you can use over-the-air to set all nodes to enable this feature at once. Upload the modified configuration to all nodes using the Upload button. Then the nodes must be restarted. On the DPA Peer-to-Peer tab in CAD Service Tools, enter the correct access password. You can filter devices by hardware profile ID. Adjust the strength of the RF signal. A lower value means only nearer devices will hear your service tool. Set a range of network addresses of nodes that could hear the signal. On the Settings tab, set the RF channel and network type. After clicking on the scan, a list of devices that are in the RF range and meet the connection conditions is displayed. For example, you can indicate the device using the Indicate command, which turns on the red and green LEDs on the IQRF transceiver. The manufacturer can interpret the Indicate DPA command using its own custom DPA handler in its own way. For example by siren sound, light on, or otherwise. Or you can send another DPA command from the DPA test terminal to the device. In our example, we've prepared a command for reading the temperature and send it to the selected node via DP2P. You can see the return value in the terminal log window. In DPA test terminal, we also prepared a command Indicate for the OS peripheral, and according to the DPA documentation, we entered a hexadecimal value 03 into the P data. We can see both LEDs shining for 10 seconds on the IQRF transceiver. On the RF Scanner tab in CAD Service Tools, you will find a simple RF band scanner. Just start the scan and the traffic on each channel will be shown over time. This allows you to find out in advance which channel would be unsuitable for your network, where there are frequent and significant interferences and noise. You can set the RSSI boundary to a specific value at which you want to be informed. You can turn the sound indication on or off for this value. You can copy the chart to clipboard or export it as an image. In this video, we showed how to create CAD service tools, how to work with DSM or DP2P and RF scanner. You can use these tools to plan your network as well as to manage, locate and identify running devices, or for service tasks such as unbonding or resetting devices for which you already don't have a coordinator. It is important to have strong passwords in your network to prevent unauthorized access by unauthorized persons or to deactivate some service tools via over the air when service is complete. Learn more about the IQRF technology on our IQRF YouTube channel. Use the IQRF interoperable product simply.